Today's video is going to be a bit of mix because on one side, I actually messed up with a YouTube idea for one of my clients. And on the other side, I'm planning out the full content system for a brand new client we just onboarded. So kind of a failure and a fresh start on the same day. Okay, so let's start with the failed idea. So a few days ago, actually almost a week and a half back, I was ideating 4 videos for one of my clients, Ethan Garland. He's in the trading industry. We have been working on and off for a few months now. He had paused for a while, got busy, and during that time, his channel took a bit of a dip. Now, during the months we did work together, I had already delivered him some solid wins over the course of about 2 months. I gave him videos that put like 25,000, another one that crossed 28,000 views, and one that actually turned into an outlier at around 135,000 views. By the way, that 135,000 outlier video, that one had a completely different structure from the rest. If you guys want, I can actually break down how I came up with that concept. The hook, the scripting, the packaging, because it's a structure that I haven't shown yet, and it's the reason that one popped differently. Anyways, so I knew the potential was there. The challenge was just keeping that momentum while also trying new things. So with this new batch, I knew I had to hit. So whenever I ideate for a client, I always start by looking at the data in the YouTube analytics. That tells me what's working, what's not. And with Ethan's channel, one thing was clear. His returning viewers ratio was really bad, and his unique viewers were just average. Not terrible, but not exciting either. And after going through the rest of the data, that data basically told me his content wasn't retaining his existing audience. And one reason was obvious. He was posting the same type of videos again and again. Quick win scalping strategies. Different angles, but essentially the same flavor. And when you do that too long, people get tired of it. The content gets exhausted. So in this batch, I wanted to switch things up. My personal rule is whenever I ideate a set of videos, I always include 1 to 2 videos that's different. Something out of the box, something that could potentially hit mass virality. But the rest of the batch, the other 2 to 3 videos are always based on what the data already tells me it's working. Just slight twist on proven formats, not random experiments. And that's how I came up with this idea. If trading is a game, these are the cheat codes. Now, the way I thought about it was it's creative, it's unique, and it packages trading differently because I was actually explaining trading through gaming analogy. I had done my homework, I checked inspiration videos, I saw a couple of creators do something similar, and those videos performed decently. Not insanely viral, but good enough that I felt this format could pop if executed right. So I built everything for it titles, reasoning, even creative thumbnail concepts. You can see that on the thumbnail, I've actually copied the Super Mario interface and I have replaced those bricks with trading candles. I sent this idea to Ethan. Ethan was pumped. I was convinced. And honestly, I thought this was going to be one of those videos that just takes off. And then we uploaded and it flopped. Honestly, I was expecting 10 to 15,000 views minimum. It didn't even touch that. So I sat down, had my tea, and asked myself, where exactly did I go wrong? And I realized a couple of things. First, those inspiration videos I was looking at weren't actually outliers. They were just average performers on already big channels. So not really something I should have taken as a proof of concept. Big mistake. And here's the interesting point. After I uploaded this video, I saw that big creators in our space like Alex Hormozzi, Iman, and many others went on to upload videos packaged in a very similar way with a gaming analogy, which tells me one thing, I was onto something. This framing clearly had potential, but the reason it worked for them and not for me is simple. They have massive audiences, entire teams polishing the execution, and a subscriber base that can carry even average experiments. For a smaller channel, though, the same format doesn't land the same way. Second, I got blinded by the creativity of the idea. I thought the uniqueness of the concept was enough, but in doing that, I ignored something very basic Ethan's current subscribers. His existing audience was already tired of beginnerish, flashy content, and instead of giving them something deeper or more structured, I went even more broad with this video. As for this current batch, the rest of 3 videos I gave him alongside this gaming analogy video were all data driven, based on what had worked for him before, but not copy pasted. I added twists to keep them fresh. For example, his subscriber always loves scalping strategy videos. So instead of doing the same, this scalping strategy made me X in Y days. I created something more structured, like this one. Every scalping entry explained in X minutes. Different angle, but about the scalping. This way, it still feeds his current audience while also being an evergreen structure that appeals to a broader audience. And I'm confident this one is going to work. So yeah, lesson learned. You can experiment, but never by ignoring the people who are already showing up for you. Now let's switch to the new client we just onboarded, Adam. Now who is Adam? Adam has no social media presence. He's in dropshipping industry, which is honestly one of the most saturated industries out there. And the hate this industry gets, I don't need to tell you. And he wants to build his personal brand on Instagram with starting with 20 reels. So here's the situation. First of all, let's talk about the problems. First, he doesn't have an audience yet. He doesn't even have an Instagram yet. Like the Instagram that he has, it's dead. He doesn't even have 100 followers. The second issue, he doesn't have many case studies. He's only been consistently profitable for about 8 to 9 months. And the third problem, the industry is super saturated. Everyone's teaching the same stuff. But when I went through his loom where he broke down his story, I actually found some solid, unique selling points. First, he runs Snapchat ads for dropshipping. Nobody talks about this. Everyone's stuck on Facebook and TikTok. Second USP, he focuses only on products tied to insecurities, like skincare products, weight loss products, that kind of stuff. It's controversial, but it works. And the third unique selling proposition, which doesn't sound like a USP, but it is. Believe me, it is. He's openly still learning. He's not trying to be a guru, not selling a course. That honesty is obviously rare. So based on that, I decided to brand him as the insecure guy, a name that instantly communicates what he talks about and separates him from the generic dropshipping crowd. I was going for the Snapchat guy, but I was too tied to the platform in that case. So I'm going with the insecure guy, which is too broad and kind of a novel. Now, to pull this off for Adam, I had to think in terms of creative formats. Something I've done before with Trading Geek. Those creative formats on Instagram ended up driving over 10 million plus views with a couple of reels. So I know this works. And if you want, I can also make a separate video breaking down exactly how I did that. Anyway, so here's the Adam's strategy. I'm breaking down his 20 reels in two tracks. Track 1 has 10 reels and track 2 will have the rest of the 10 reels. Track 1, serialized challenge with 10 reels. So basically the first 10 reels are going to be an episode based video, right? Where he will take on a challenge of a 10 days and will try to make certain amount from Snapchat dropshipping as the insecure guy. So the initial concept that I come up with was day 1 of making $10,000 from people's insecurities. Now the concept was good. It was interesting, but I wanted to add some drama to it, some more stakes, but obviously some honest stakes. So I have gone through his story again, and he was consistently talking about his door-to-door sales job. So I kind of added that twist to the concept. And the title becomes Day 1 of Making $10,000 from People's Insecurities Until I Quit My Door-to-Door Sales Job. Now this works because he actually did door-to-door in the past. It's transparent, he's just documenting it. And it makes people binge and they'll want to see day 2, day 3, etc. because that's what serialization is. And by the way, serialization is really a strong format which is going on in 2025 right now. We have seen a lot of creators popped up. Anyways, I've also written some other variations for the challenge as well. So it's a mix of angles, but all tied to the same serialized journey. So this is going to be the first track. Now let's talk about the second track. The second track will have educational proof-based content. Once the challenge reels start pulling traction, the second track is where we add credibility. How-to videos, product breakdowns, Adam's predictions, green screen wild product type videos, maybe many case studies on his own numbers. This way, track 1 builds relatability, track 2 builds authority. Together, they position him as a still learning but transparent guy who actually has unique angles. So yeah, that's been my day. I analyzed a failed experiment with Ethan and learned why I got it wrong. I replaced it with a better idea that aligns with his actual subscribers. And then I built a 20-reel strategy to launch Adam's brand in the most saturated niche out there. After wrapping up both, I still had a couple of revisions and smaller tasks left. I completed all those, and again, it's time to close the office. I put the laptop in my bag, helmet goes on, and like always, charger stays on the front chair, because that's his place. Kind of a long day, but honestly, I love these kind of days. Failures, learnings, and fresh starts all in one. See you in the next one.